Look at what I got. Pretty cool, huh? I love this pose, I really do. This piece of merch is just so cool to me. I'm still waiting on a battery for it, actually, because, you know, they didn't really say, or I didn't really read the small letters that said, hey, you need a battery that's not included in this, and it's a very specific type of battery, and I'm waiting for Amazon to deliver it, and it's taken like months for whatever reason. Anyway, that's besides the point. Honestly, today I just thought I'd hop into some Sonic Frontiers and talk to you guys about an upcoming Sonic game that should be releasing relatively soon. You may or may not have heard of it. It's called Sonic Toys Party, or at least that's the alleged name for now. And the interesting part here is there's quite a few Sonic mobile games that are coming on the horizon, and it's honestly very weird how they're distributing all of them. There's allegedly a Sonic football game that's gonna come that's locked to Apple Arcade for whatever reason. Then there's gonna be a Chow Garden game or a Chow game. We don't exactly know if it's a Chow Garden related game, but you can only assume, right? And it's like, oh my god, finally we have Chow Garden in our mobile games. You know, they're finally making a free-to-play cool game for Chow Gardens. You know, we've been asking either a game on mobile or for it to return on mainline. It's gonna be behind a Netflix subscription, again, allegedly, for whatever reason. At least that will give Android users the access as well, because if it's behind Apple Arcade, obviously only iOS people can play it, but at least with Netflix, if you're subscribed to Netflix, you can either have iOS or Android, and you can play, you know, in either device, but, you know, it's still behind the subscription. It's really weird. But today, we're gonna focus on that one Sonic Fall Guys game that you probably may have heard about by now, probably a few times. And, you know, just like we said in an article, those of our Tales channel, we may or may not have seen a little very unofficial sneak peek at the game. You know, leaks going everywhere. I'm pretty sure that footage is not public, which is crazy to me because, you know, when something like this leaks, it usually like goes public at some point. But at least as of now, I think it's behind the scenes, so we're gonna keep it that way. But we're gonna talk about a little bit of the game, you know, nothing too major, nothing too crazy. But at least let's talk about what we can expect from that game and, you know, kind of give you an overview of the game. And meanwhile, we're just gonna be playing some cyberspace, because why not? Let's do it. Alright, so allegedly, the game that we've been able to see a little bit of goes by the name of Sonic Toys Party. Again, alleged name, subject to change at any time. But honestly, the name isn't really just for show, because from the little that I've been able to see, the game basically just follows exactly like the theming that the name would imply. It's a Sonic game that is kind of just meant to be looked at as if you were playing with like figurines. Right, and basically, I mean, I'm sure you guys are Sonic fans if you're watching this, so I'm sure you've kept up with leaks and stuff like that, and if you haven't, it's basically Sonic Fall Guys, and honestly, when your brain envisions what Sonic Fall Guys might be, that's exactly, probably your brain is probably giving you an accurate representation of what the game will look like, because it really is just Fall Guys with a Sonic setting, and honestly, that's fine. What I will say about it is, you know, a leaker allegedly said a while ago, a very reliable leaker at that, by the name of Midori, you know, they've been a very reliable leaker for Persona stuff, Atlas stuff. Allegedly, they said that this game would look a lot like you know, like the Fast Friends Forever aesthetic, which was really funny, because when we first heard about the game, I was like, man, I really just hope it doesn't look like Fast Friends Forever. Not that I have anything against that, but you know, it's very cutesy, and I really don't mind anything cutesy for a mobile Sonic game, but you know, after watching the TikTok clips and everything, I was like, man, I hope it's something kind of cooler, you know, it doesn't have to be Riders per se, it's basically Sonic Fast Friends Forever like the TikToks, it's basically that. Kind of more mixed with, like, I don't know how you specifically call those figures, Nandroids or Nanodroids. Again, I'm not a collector, so I'm not really sure how you pronounce that, I'm sorry. But if you mix that Fast and Forever look with those Nanodroids, that's basically exactly what that game looks like. You basically take that and you like put in some Sonic Lost World assets, which again, completely subject to change, but at the same time, I don't think those will be changed because the Lost World like Batnik assets and stuff like that, they completely fit the toy aesthetic they're trying to go with, right? And you know, you mix those things and that's basically what the game looks like. And in a gameplay standpoint, again, it's basically Sonic Fall Guys. You have some stages where you have to, you know, get to the finish goal, you know, first or within a certain threshold before you get eliminated. You know, the last, like, I don't know, like, say, like, maybe 3-4 people, you know, get eliminated if it's round 1. Then you have some where you have to collect a specific amount of rings. You probably have to collect, like, more rings than anyone else. And, you know, if you're, like, bottom tier when it comes to, like, everyone else has, like, 10 rings and you have 1, you know, you're probably eliminated. I'd assume that's what's going on there. So yeah, it really is basically what you would expect out of a party Fall Guys game, but with Sonic characters mixed in. In terms of characters, we were able to see Sonic, Tails, Amy, Knuckles, Metal Sonic was in there, Eggman was in there, playable with no mech or anything, like Eggman's just kind of running around there, but again, it's like toys, so it doesn't look jarring or anything, you know, he's noticeably bigger still than the other characters, right? But, you know, it doesn't look jarring or anything, entirely because of this toy aesthetic, and basically because they look like, you know, collectible figures. And at the same time, one that I haven't seen people mention that I managed to spot actually was the Vampire Sonic that JP really loves. You know, when every time it's Halloween, they give you Sonic with like a vampire cape and stuff like that. I saw that too, and you know that's probably one of the first things that they're doing. You know, to test out what they want to do in terms of skins on that game, because you know, as far as we know, and there's you know nothing that's a leak or anything, but the game should be free to play, and I'd assume that the game, you know, is probably gonna be taking off like, you know, Fall Guys. It's probably gonna be taking off of stuff like, you know, like Clash Royale, games like that. They're probably gonna be looking at them like Fortnite, how do we operate and stuff like that. Because the point of this game, really, like Sega, like from Sega's standpoint, is probably just to give us a games as a service Sonic game, right? Like that. This is probably like their first offering. You know, not counting, you know, Sonic Dash and Sonic vs. Speed Battle, stuff like that, but like a modern, like, games as a service, free-to-play Sonic game. So I would assume this will include Battle Pass and stuff like that, right? Like, we're probably looking at a $5, $10 Battle Pass each season. Again, each season might be every month, it might be every 2 weeks, 3 weeks, it might be every 2 months, 3 months. Each game kind of does that separately, differently. But we're probably looking, you know, for cosmetics, we're probably looking at a Battle Pass that will, again, cost us like $5, $10 whenever every season resets. And that's probably how the game is going to operate in terms of progression and monetization, stuff like that. Now, I will also not, like, completely omit the possibility of them doing, like, some gacha elements. Like, hey, you know, Fortnite does, like, its Battle Pass, right? And you get your Battle Pass skins, and then some, you can, you know, also go to the shop, and that's honestly where probably a lot of the cool, you know, not that the Battle Pass in games like Fortnite and stuff like that doesn't have cool skins. They do have very cool skins. But, you know, they also tend to put, you know, a lot of, like, very, very cool skins, you know, outside of that, so you actually have to, you know, drop, like, 10, 15 bucks on them. I'm assuming this game will probably maybe do something like that. Like, maybe it's not gonna be, like, entirely, hey, like, here's your Battle Pass skins. It's probably gonna have, like, a separate shop. Where you can actually, you know, also, you know, buy separate skins if that's what you want. But honestly, really what I'm looking for, and from what I've been able to see on the little snippet and stuff like that, it doesn't look like this game is gonna have any pay-to-win elements, so I would honestly rest assured in terms of that. Like, I don't think there's gonna be anything like, hey, pay this amount of money and your character will be faster, or you'll have more rings, blah, blah. I think, you know, in terms of, like, the skins and everything, I do think they will have some benefits, but those benefits I don't think will affect the outcome of the match itself. Now, they may give you extra rings when you finish the match, they may give you extra stats for leaderboards or something like that. Like, that is very common in these types of games, correct? But what I will not expect is those skins to actually give you an advantage in-game. I will honestly not expect that, and I'm pretty sure they can pull that off. Because, you know, nowadays if you want to be like a good live service game, honestly, you kind of have to do that, because people catch on if it's pay to win, and people drop the game. Like, if it's very, very obviously pay to win, which is something that, you know, old mobile games really loved to do back then, you know, people will know, and they will drop the game, because that doesn't really roll nowadays. And obviously that's not counting gacha games, and that's another whole topic. That's not necessarily pay to win, but, you know, gacha games are a whole nother topic, and I'm kind of expecting this to not be a gacha, but Battle Pass, like I said. Again, I would not worry about monetization. I think monetization will probably be fine. I trust Sega that they can pull something off here, and they're smart enough to know that the people will really just not like this game if it's, like, inherently pay to win, so I really, really doubt it. But yeah, and honestly, in terms of that, in terms of stages, I did see, you know, obviously a few stages. I will not really say absolutely every single one of them, but I will say, you know, and again, don't panic, because again, this is not a mainline game. It's a mobile game, so, you know, a lot of things are gonna, you know, stuff like Green Hill, like we're seeing right now on screen on Sonic Frontiers, chemical plants, stuff like that. There's also a few stages from Sonic Lost World, Silent Forest, Lava Mountain, you know, stuff like that. Yeah, they're returning. I have not seen a single, like, new stage, but again, let's calm down. It's a mobile game, a party game. I'm totally fine with that being the case. Again, if we got Sonic Frontiers 2 right now, and I saw these stages again, I would probably, like, not even be recording right now, because I would leave Tails' channel, I would leave the Sonic community, and I would, like, just go play Persona games. Because, by the way, I've been playing Persona games, they're amazing. You guys should play Persona games. They're so good. Persona 3 really was so good. Moving on from Persona Shilling, sorry. Yeah, I don't think those stages returning are necessarily, like, a really, really, like, bad thing, honestly. Like, but yeah, expect those stages, and probably, like, again, since this game is gonna be games as a service, it's gonna be constantly updated, free to play, blah blah blah. Expect more stages to return, probably, as long as they can probably reuse an asset or two. from any other Lost World stage or something like that. I probably expect a new stage here and there, hopefully, but honestly, as of now, doesn't seem to be the case on release. What I also want to mention before I finish this video is that, Chao are supposedly included in this game as well. Now, I would not expect a Chao Garden since they're, again, seemingly already doing an entire game dedicated to that. But there does seem to be Chao in this game, which I will assume will probably give you like stat boosts. I will really assume that they will work kind of like Sonic Speed Sim Chao, right? When you get more rings, you get more score, whatever that game, like, in Sonic Speed Sim, it's about XP, it's about event stuff, it's about rings, etc. Whatever Sonic Toys Party does end up having, it's probably going to be like a little boost to stuff like that. But yeah, that's really all I had to say in terms of Sonic Toys Party. But at the same time, I would really appreciate if you can drop a like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.